Welcome. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make animated movement like this one. I'm going to show you for left or right, and then I'll post some code that will help for up and down as well. It really has to be a video because there are lots of intricate little steps and pictures just weren't going to do it for this one. So here we are in Godot, and as you can see, I have a background here and a player, and the player has some movement code. And if I close this, you'll be able to see here, put that down for the moment, you'll be able to see here, if you ignore next idle, everything else is related to the movement code. And you're welcome to use this code, it'll be pasted on the website as well. But the main point of this video is working out how to animate this. So there is an animated sprite. However, I'm going to use a normal sprite and use the animation player in this video. So if I click on player here and add a new node, child node, I can create a sprite. And the first thing that I want to do is to find an interesting image. So I went online to OpenGameArt, and there's a link on the project page to all sorts of other sites that you can go. And if I go quickly to downloads here, I'll show you the sprite sheet that I'm using. So I found this sprite sheet. It has lots of different directions of walk cycles and some sort of other stuff here. So we're going to be using that one. And I've simply just put it in my file area down here. So I'm going to click on my sprite and pull it across to the texture section. However, that's not exactly what I want, as you can imagine there, all of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to animation, and I'm going to put in the number of vertical frames and the number of horizontal frames. And as you can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, there are 9 horizontal frames, or maybe I'm getting the two mixed up here. No, that's correct. 9 horizontal frames, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 vertical frames. And then hopefully we will just get the first frame. And what we can do is we can click through the frames 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 like this, and you will see all of the, oops, I just realized that was wrong, that should have been 8. And you will see all of the different movements and animations there. So the way that, I'm just going to grab the player and put him on the screen here. Hopefully my movement code will be working now. If I hit F5, oops, let me just check what's going wrong there. Okay, we're back having fixed the problem, me being silly as usual. So now I have this situation where I can use the left and right arrows because of my movement code over here. But it is not animated, and in fact I really don't want to be staring at the back of my character like this the whole time. So how do we create an animation? So I'm going to click on the player here, and I'm going to add an animation, an animation player. And the animation player comes up hopefully down in the bottom here. It should, when you click on it, it should have a new button, I guess, here, or word you can click on, animation, and you can make an animation in here. Now this is a little bit tricky, but it is super powerful, really, really powerful. Everything from making characters move frames on their sprite sheet to, you know, changing color to swirling around, and then when all of it's done, you can specify functions you want run at the end of it, like cue free or things like that. So it is really, really powerful. Let's make a new animation, and the animation is going to be, we'll call it walk right. So if I click on animation here and click new and type in walk right, like that, and I'm just going to, it comes in by default that it takes 1 second, and that the snap is 0.1. That means that there's a new thing in the animation happening every 0.1 seconds. You can play around with that. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit here, but that seems to work well for me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come and click up on the sprite up here and come across to frames and go to the first frame of walking right, if I can find it. I'll keep going. Oh, now I'm not going to use that one because that's the standing right. Number 28 is actually the first frame of walking right. And I'm going to click this little key. So I'm going to click the key and you can see it appeared here. Now I'm going to click over here to the next one and I'm going to progress on to 29 and press the key. Again, now you're probably thinking that's going to become really boring after a while, but luckily after the second one we can just keep clicking and it'll work out what we want it to do. Oh, however, I don't want to add this one here because that's facing a different direction. So I actually want the animation to stop here and loop after 0.8 seconds. So I'm going to come across here and change this to 0.8 seconds, and then I'm going to click on the loop icon here to make that animation loop over and over and over again. Okay, I'm now going to go and add another animation. I'll click on here and click new, and I'm going to call this walk left. And this animation is going to be the same thing, but now I know that I want it to be 0.8 seconds, so I'm going to change it here. I also want this one to loop, and I want to start at the start, so I'm going to click here, and I've got my snap at 0.1 again. So if I wanted it to be twice as fast, I would change that snap to 0.05 and I would put them in there. Now, I'm going to go find the walking left ones. So if I look in the frame, I think they were earlier on. I'm just going to keep going back. Yep, here are the walking left ones. Now the other thing I could do is I could use the walking right ones and just flip it horizontally, but I'm not. I'm going to use these ones. So not that one, that's the standing one. That's the first one. So number 10, press the key, create. Now move it onto here. Move it on to number 11, and then we can just go click, 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 and we finish, okay? So now we have walking right and walking left, but that's not the only thing I want him to do. Sometimes I want him to stand being idle, facing the right or the left. So I'm going to add those two. So I'll say new, idle right, okay? And the idle right one, I'm just going to make it 0.1 seconds, just the shortest amount of time here. And all that I'm going to do with the idle right is I'm just going to have him facing this one. This is my idle right one, so I'll click that. And it doesn't need to loop, I don't think. It's just when I play idle right, I just want to switch it to this icon and we'll continue from there. And the final one I'm going to make is idle left. And idle left, I'm going to go back and get the first icon, so the first sprite frame here, and key that. Now if you accidentally key it somewhere else, you could just drag it back to the start or just completely drag it off like I did then. Click on the sprite, click on the key to add that one, but I just added the wrong one. Okay, you can change it in here too, so I think it was number 9. No? Yes, it was. Okay. Now this one again, I want it to make it 0.1 and not loop. Oh, and it's, oh, wow. I've actually been able to create like a -1 second. Okay, I'll delete that. Amazing new things happening here. Okay. So now I've got my 4 animations, and you might want to add ones for walking up, walking down, idle up, idle down. But let's go and save that, and we can write some code. And in fact, I've written some ahead of time, which may fail miserably. However, I will try. So I've got it commented out here, Control K to uncomment it. That's a really useful thing because there are no multi-line comments. Okay, so if direction.x, oh, I've deleted my brackets there. Okay, so if direction.x is greater than 0, that means he's walking to the right. So the animation player.play, and then you've got the walk right there. If the direction is less than 0, walk left. Else, if it's just not moving at all, I've got a bit of a thing here which is animation player.play next idle. Now let me just explain that quickly. What that means is that when you're, well, I tell you what I will do is I will actually delete this for the moment. And I will comment these out, and I will run the game and hopefully it works. Okay, so what you can see is it works well while I'm moving. It plays animation left or animation or walk right or walk left. However, when I stop, it doesn't know which idle position to play. And you might say to yourself, okay, just play like idle left, like that. But then if I'm walking to the right and I suddenly stop, then I'm facing the left. So what I do is I just have a little variable up here called next idle. And whenever I'm walking, I just set that. It's basically when I stop, which animation do I want, idle animation do I want to play? So if I'm walking to the left here, I'm going to set next idle to idle left. So then if I stop, I can just say animation.play next idle. And I find that's a really useful way of getting this working. So now if I stop, it knows what to play. Because if you think about it, the way that you work out which way you're facing is which way you were facing previously. So that just sort of stores that information there. All right, I am going to post on the Google Class, on the website, I'm going to post some code that shows up, down, left, right, but I had to show in a video how making the animations actually worked. I really hope that helps, and see you next time.